Hi guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm in FLOII 2023, a plant exhibition from Indonesia that is of international scale. This is episode 2, where we will cover non-aroid portion of the tour. If you want to look at some aroids, check out the previous episodes for that. In this episode, we'll look at a diversity of plant growers and the products that they're growing out here in Indonesia and their offerings for the international market. This video is sponsored by EXITPLANT that provide export solutions for live plants to your home country. Reach out to them to see if your country qualify for import of plants from Indonesia. More on their business profile at the end of the video. But all the plants that you see in this episode, you can actually reach out to the growers directly because I do include their names on the screen, and perhaps you would like to do business with them or make a purchase from them and engage in the service of EXITPLANT to have them shipped to where you are. Now, we've covered a lot of these kinds of tours in the past videos, so check out my previous plant tour videos if you want to see some more interesting plants. But we're going to be focusing on plants I've never featured before on the channel and also plants that might be trending right now. Let's get this tour started. So this show was organized by EAS and PFI. They're both organizations here in Indonesia, and I'm in the booth of PFI, and they're being decorated by SK Garden and Sanggar Kemuning. I've actually done a few episodes in their nursery before, so you can click on the link up above if you want to check out those episodes. This is actually a beautiful booth, and I expect nothing less from SK Garden. So that is Icha there. She's in charge of SK Garden, and also she's helping out with this PFI organization. She's a very, very good stylist and landscaper. They have a nursery, but they also provide landscaping solutions and plant rental service. In the front here, just greeting everyone, there's some beautiful platyceriums. We'll see a lot of them today. So I hope you're in the market for a platycerium because there are so many wonderful shapes and sizes, and they're very, very trending now. They really dabble with desert plants. Here we have some bonsai and interesting ferns, hoyas, and things like that. This is a variegated costus. Hoya terrii variegata. It's always very nice to see these guys. They're not exactly new or trending, but they're almost like a classic Hoya that most people can recognize. Almost like a quintessential Hoya. They have these heart-shaped leaves, in case you don't know. The green ones used to be around everywhere, but the variegated ones are kind of making rounds in the market now. And there's ones that's variegated on the inside, and there's ones on the outside. But we will do a full Hoya tour at the end of the episode. There's a few amazing Hoya booths, but I'm gonna save that for the last. This is a very beautiful Schefflera. I've never seen this variety of Schefflera. It's got like longer leaves, but it's got a signature umbrella shape leaves here. And then a variegation, my gosh. This is beautiful. Oh yeah, if you're looking at my hands, this is a stamp for me to get out and get in the event. There's nothing wrong with my skin, and I certainly did not go clubbing last night. Yeah, this is really, really pretty. And look at that, the center stem here. Wow, look at that. This is how they branch out from the main stem. This is beautiful, my gosh. Look at that, how it's branching out. Some aspleniums. My gosh, there's actually a lot of varieties of ferns to discover. And SK Garden, if you visit their nursery, when you enter, you're really greeted by fern on fern action, which I actually really admire. This is a Hoya viola. This is actually quite new to me. This is a beautiful piper, the variegated piper. That's amazing. Look at those leaves. They actually need consistent watering, these pipers. They're not easy. They're not for beginners. And next to it, this is a variegated ficus. I actually saw this yesterday in some aroid booth, and it really called out to me. I thought it was some kind of aroid piper, but it was a ficus. And you guys, platyceriums are actually kind of amazing. Look at that. If we've run out of room space, like our living rooms are full, the platyceriums, they can actually take up wall space. So we can actually increase capacity to grow plants in our home. And they are actually quite easy to care for. I have a video, I'm gonna link that up above, of a master's care tip for platycerium. But I must say, watch that video, but it's such next level and it's a bit more complicated. So maybe one day I'll do a more beginner and more basic care for platyceriums, because that video is really more for like really rare, really specific types of platyceriums. And also if you really want your platycerium game on, you can follow that tip. But for most of us, it's a bit difficult to keep track of that kind of care routine. Let me zoom back out a bit. That's an elephantotis, by the way. It's beautiful. How nice is this? Look at that. If you have like a cafe or you own like a salon or a barber or a tattoo parlor or something, some kind of business, imagine that on the wall. It is so stunning, and they do quite well indoors as well. They require some humidity, but not as high as people think. Look at that shield frond, that is crazy. Spitting out a new shield frond. When you see that, it will expand and envelope over this current shield frond. It's really, really stunning. They really are quite dramatic. And again, they only take up wall space. So if you run out of space in your floors, in your tables, then these guys are really, really good contenders. And also the mounts, see the different shaped mounts? They make a huge difference. This is actually a cooking utensil. How clever is that? This is like where people drain oil from food when you're deep frying something. And this is just a food tray. You know, like if you go to a school or something and that's that. And some of them are also grown in pots. So these guys like this is also grown vertically in pots. Although I feel like it's better to mount them. This is just how they do in nature.
If I'm not mistaken, Cassia fruticosa, the leaves like a bit hairy. It's very beautiful because the color is a bit silvery. It's very easy to grow, but it needs more vitamins if you want to grow the flowers.
And the growth point here, like this is where they spit out the new leaf. It's so beautiful. Look at the way it's like growing out.
Yes.
And the leaves are indeed very, very fuzzy. They're so fun to pet. Oh my gosh. But it's an elephantotis hybrid.
Yes, elephantotis hybrid, Alhassa.
And there's some carnivorous plants here. That's amazing. Again, this is a good start for the episode because in this one booth itself, we're already seeing all these different classifications of plant collection, plant hobby. And we will see all these. And again, I will segment these in later on in the episode. So each of like the carnivorous plants will have its own timeline, and platyceriums will have their own. But let me get a closer look at these amazing traps. Oh my gosh. Yesterday when I was filming the aroids, I saw a lot of parents, because yesterday was a school holiday. There were a lot of parents with kids, and the kids were so drawn to this. Such a great way to get into the hobby. Some beautiful sansevierias here, and also agaves. So we will see some amazing sansevieria sellers as well later on. This is a sansevieria watermark. Look at just how beautiful it is. The leaves are curly, and look at that, the markings. Everything is beautiful about this one. And I want you to pay attention on like these hanging plants, like these Talensias are hanging, and in there there's also a lot of hanging plants. And they're hung by this, they're strung up by these twigs. So these twigs are like kind of intertwined up above, creating like a natural ceiling. So for those of you maybe at home, you have a garden, or even if you want to dress up your living room with these dead twigs and just start hanging plants off of it, this is a very, very good inspiration to take from this. And then let's talk about kebun raya. There's actually 4 kebun rayas in Indonesia. That means botanic gardens. This one is particular one from Bogor, which I believe is their main hub. And this is their booth. This is amazing. So they're being taken over, being run by a really young and passionate team that's starting to take over last year. So we are seeing all this cute merchandise, a lot of really strong passion for plant products, and to get people to develop interest in plants. So this is like some orchids. They do have a strong orchid culture lab, and that's their landscaping behind. So they have really, really good team effort in landscaping and styling projects. It's the extension of their booth, and as you can see here, there's like corners in there for you to take photos. And I think that's one really great way to display plants and to encourage people to interact with the public space. If you've seen my Singapore videos, you'll see like in Jewel Changi and in other parts of Singapore, when you make beautiful plant landscaping, people from all over the world will come and they want to be around, surrounded by that experience. They want to take photos with that. They want to bring that home with experience home and they want to bring that experience home with them. So I think this Kebun Raya is doing really well. This is the Cibodas chain, if I'm not wrong, which is a little bit higher up in the mountains. A beautiful anthurium here. They make such good landscaping, these guys. Amazing. And all these mists are going off. This is a lot of effort that they've put into these. I really hope that attendance spike for these botanic gardens. Even in your home country or the city where you are, try to visit, pay the full ticket price to get in. It's as a way to support them and their efforts to grow plants and to get people interested in interacting with the plants. And I definitely will try to promote this Cibodas Botanic Garden soon when I can. More anthurium flowers. These are actually kind of expensive here, if you ask me, in Indonesia. And over here, we've got some beautiful succulent and cacti display. And here's the thing, you guys might see this often where you are, the golden barrel cactus. I actually realized I have one in my collection. It's pretty small, and it's been small for like 2 years. And I Googled up to see how long it takes for me to get something that's like this size to like that size. It takes like a decade, maybe more. So these guys are actually very slow growing. And with that fact being known, I start to appreciate these guys even more. So to get them that big, you really need a whole lifetime. This is really cool as well. Look at this hanging contraption for cacti succulents here. With this bit of cutout, I don't know what you even call it, like a tree ring, we would call it that. Now there is some kind of workshop here, and a lot of people have been engaging with this booth since yesterday. I guess they're showing how to do terrariums. How beautiful is that? This is something that's been starting to pop up in Indonesia. The art of terrarium has been around, and it's been popular in other parts of the world, especially in Japan and Taiwan. And if you follow Benji Plant's channel, he's big into terrariums. He makes really good ones. Kokodama, not a big fan of those, but this is interesting. This is done in a way that is a bit more tropical, because normally when we see Kokodama, they're in moss balls and they look a little bit more Japanese. But this is very, very tropical. This is very fun. And I really enjoy looking at that. Something about glass beakers and glass contraptions, this very cold and stark and reflective surface against something that is very warm and something very natural. It's a high contrast. It's amazing. This caught my eye here. This is a Schubergera, which is a Thanksgiving cactus, and they're starting to bloom. This is a very common plant, and you probably know what it is, but this is grown, grafted. How cool is that? So it looks like a little tree spitting out all these wonderful vines of plants. Very otherworldly. I quite like it, actually. This is actually really beautiful. Not only with the misting, but if you look at this is actually a bromeliad. It's in bloom, and this is actually a bract, and this is the purple is actually the flower itself. So all bromeliads do this. Tillandsias also do this. So they have really showy flowers. Sometimes we forget that. And it's a good reminder whenever I come to like plant shops, plant events, and I see them in full bloom, really brings a smile to my face. It really gives perspective to that plant family. I'm at KPPTHC, and this is from Chiapus, Bogor. This is a variegated Peperomia argyria. How cute is that? This one leaf is wonderfully variegated. They can actually get really big where they are in the mountainous region because they are a slightly cooler climate that's very humid, so they can get large. But I really struggle in the heat that I live in the middle of the city. They don't do so well. And this is a Peperomia polybotria. It's also known as a raindrop peperomia. This is also a variegated variety of them. How cute. This booth belongs to Vin. They actually do export, And they do tillandsias orchids. And here you have a basket of baby variegated orchids. Look at that, how cute. They're already mounted in their little coconut chips. Oh my gosh, I really want one of these. I've always wanted when the price is actually quite good on this. I've always wanted a variegated orchid, but I've killed so many orchids. I mean, they do need a different kind of care routine than I give to all my plants. But yeah, if you're interested to export some orchids, variegated orchid, and also they have tillandsia, and also they have platycerium here as well. Give them a follow, check out their business. This is a variegated costus, and by the way, their business VIN, it stands for Variegata Indah Nusantara. Guys, so I found this really cool contraption, and this is the owner, FLOII.
This is a beautiful mahogany wood table that's been carved out in the middle to replicate a flowing river. Beautiful colored pebbles adorn the bottom of this water feature, and live fish swim happily around. Rockwork was placed along the banks to create a gorgeous landscape for both fish and humans to enjoy. These rocks are movable in case you get bored of its position. Towering over this feature is a mini waterfall, complete with a falls top for maintenance and troubleshooting. Mini bonsai was perched on these rocks to complete the look.
I am at Hamsia Flora, and they actually grow a lot of cycad and encephaliardos. So this is one called the cycad golden suro. This is a mutation found in Indonesia. Look how beautiful it is. That's the smaller one here. So again, this is the encephaliardos. A lot of you guys, if you're thinking of bringing this in, it might be impossible. These guys are actually a bit endangered in the wild. I'm not sure about these guys, but this is in fact a mutation of the cycad that's found in Indonesia. Look at that new row of leaves that's just coming out. It's really, really quite beautiful, quite elegant. They require full sun, these guys. This is that Nusa plant. And this here is a Syzygium geohoi. It's an endemic plant here in Indonesia that is very popular and quite trending right now. They have really beautiful leaves that look like Anthurium veitchii. And I've mentioned this several times in my previous vlogs, especially when I travel to Singapore and see them at the botanic gardens. They're actually quite remarkable. This is what they look like as a full plant. I don't know if they do well indoors. They actually do need a lot of bright filtered light. Whenever I see them grow, and I see them grow outdoors in shade. But if indoors, I'm not sure, because indoors your top light will be quite dark. You'll have a ceiling on for the most part. So if you have a window on one side, it may not be so happy. That's what I think anyways. Correct me if I'm wrong. These are Begonia Yamor from Yamor, I guess in Papua. I was told it's a region, but this looks like it's a difficult begonia to care for. So if you are maybe more advanced and you want to take the challenge on growing more difficult plants, but this is actually very beautiful. Perhaps you might need a terrarium type setting. So apparently this is the silver, this is the red, and then in the terrarium, this is the green form. And they have here a baby Barringtonia papuana. This is from Papua. I featured this also several times in the channel. It's actually really beautiful. This is not a particularly showy model, maybe because it's still very young. But what happens is they put out these fireworks, and then they put out another stem with another fireworks, and they consequently get bigger, and they can get really, really tall, meters and meters tall, but this is still a baby. But it's actually quite beautiful plant. I was just told that you can propagate, you can cut this off, and another vine will come up from below. But also when you cut this off, the newer or the topmost growth might not propagate as well as the middle section. So the aged, thicker section tend to be more successful with propagation. But this is actually very beautiful. I love watching these unfurl. This is actually one on my wish list, but they take up so much space, and I don't have much more space in my house. This is Salaka Breeding Garden. It belongs to Mr. Greg Hambali. And he's been doing a lot of these propagations for the Syzygium geohuis. And they're really, really stunning, actually. We saw another booth that carried it earlier on, but these are the juvenile form of them. And they're almost set up for success. As you can see here, they're doing really, really well. We saw larger versions of this when we toured Greg's wild garden, and some of them are beautiful. Like when the new leaves come out and you give them really, really good light, they are almost like a flamingo pink on the new leaves. And Barringtonia papuana here, he's got a lot of them coming in stock. And this Browniopsis ukayalina, And these are the ones that give you these new leaves that over time, they will fade and turn into green. We've filmed this a few times in the previous episodes. Of course, we can't turn Mr. Greg's booth without mentioning the Dracaena JT Stardust. This is his hybrid. It's very, very prized and not very cheap. It's a little bit on the expensive side. And I hear that's probably because they don't grow very fast. Look at this beauty. The back is actually as beautiful as the front. But it is still a little bit expensive. It is on my wish list. I love Dracaenas, and this is one that I would love to have someday. Some Laquala mapuensis. He's growing a lot of them out. There's a lot of babies, but they're very, 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 very slow growing. Difficult to scale up for their growth. I guess this one is getting maybe more light than this one here. This is lighter in color, but this is quite big. This is actually very beautiful. I killed mine really hard, so they don't actually like to dry out, and I let mine dry out too much. And they like slightly acidic soil and bright and filtered light. There are a lot of very interesting palms here. We can't give them too much spotlight. I would love to spend all day here, believe me, but these are all the different species names. I can only show you some that stood out to me. This one, look at the new growth point here. This is so beautiful. And this one's also stunning. Look at how elegant the leaves are. But I think the one that I really want to mention, where are you? I saw this one. I saw this. This is the species name. And look at that. Look at the leaves. My gosh. Isn't it stunning? It's got these tips at the end of the leaves that gives it that extra bit of details. And the leaves have these markings on them. And look at that, the back of it. This is a beautiful, beautiful palm. And I have a feeling that they probably unfurl very beautifully as well. Look at that. Some more baby palms over here. So if you're in the market to look for rare palms, do check them out. This is the species, and the new leaves come out red like this. There's a lot of rare palms, baby rare palms here, yeah? You guys are growing them out. This is something else here. This is the microlithii. And then this is this variegated or no? No, yeah, this is, yeah, this is beautiful. So I'm sitting here with Mia, and she says that for palms, it is not recommended to ship them overseas because once you bare root them, they will dry out and they will not survive, unlike your typical aroids. So not recommended. Some people can get them from seeds, but if you want to import these, do it at your own risk, and there will be a lot of loss of life in the process. This is beautiful. Then Mia just shared with me the price. I can't tell you what it is, but these babies are actually very affordable. Oh my gosh. I wish I have the space to grow all these, but these are actually very, very pretty. And the ones that are less affordable but beautiful and deservingly so are these Licola mapuensis. And this is because Mia is trying to show me.
It takes a long time to germinate. So from this picture, you can see that it takes 1 year just for one leaf to emerge. So these seeds germinated from the batch that I sowed last year.
Yeah.
So if we zoom in, let's see here, 8th of June 2022, and then this picture was taken on 13th of June 2023. So
1 year, 1 week, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, only one leaf to show up after a year. You don't even know in the whole year if it's alive or not. Are you like nervous? Like, oh my God, it's still.
Don't worry, there are other seeds that are being sown. Yeah.
Yeah, because you do grow them quite a lot. But again, it just takes a very long time.
And patience.
Yeah. Roughly, how old is this one? The one in the screen?
Roughly, we would say 1 year and a half from this to that.
Holy mackerel, that's really slow.
1 year and a half from this one. And also it depends on whether you do repotting or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because
you do recommend repotting or you don't recommend repotting?
once the roots are established and then the pot seems too small and the plant is too big, of course you need to do repotting.
Okay. Over here, that's a cute little ponytail palm. Look at the codex in the bottom. And it's variegated. Look at that. And look at all this new foliage that's just coming out. This is branching out beautifully. And actually, I'm about to desertscape my front lawn, and a ponytail palm is definitely on my wish list. And a variegated one would be such a nice treat. This is Mr. Didin from Bonggol Alam. He does platyceriums primarily. There are a lot to discover, so feel free to follow and check out his business. But the one that he's promoting here, the one that he's pushing is this one here. This is the Platycerium willinkii Cianjuanensis. Cianjur is actually near here. It's a mountainous region near Jakarta. And what's particularly interesting about this is that the fronds split up a lot, and they are actually very thin fronds. And this here is a Platycerium willinkii that is curly. This was found here in Jakarta, and apparently the fronds curl inwards. The one that we see commonly, as I was told, they tend to curl outwards the other way. So the owner here told me that this is very, very sought after. So yeah, it was quite interesting. Someone took a curling iron around it. This is a Ridley eye, and it was given full sun. So some platyceriums can actually live in full sun. The willinkii, the veitchii, and also the Ridley. But the problem is when you put them in full sun, they become like this. They bleach to like almost orange, or like I don't know what you call this color, like a mustard color. But he says that this grows faster in full sun, of course. And you definitely do not want to let it dry out in full sun. When you put this back into indirect light, they tend to fade back to like a lighter green. It takes a few weeks for them to do so, but the owner here, he did tell me that this is what they do. Platycerium booth belongs to BSD Harma. I actually follow him on Instagram. He has some really interesting posts on platyceriums. This is his Instagram. And I see this is an interesting mount. I don't know how this is achieved. Let's take a closer look. So obviously there's like a vine coming down, and I guess these plants, I don't know how they're mounted on it like this. Let me look at it this way here. I think it's well rooted in there. I guess it was grown. I mean, look at how well that frond is adhering to this. I don't think this is set up here on the spot. I think these plants were grown in these contraptions, and they have assimilated itself into this contraption. But I could be wrong. But this is a Ridley eye, and look at how beautiful the veins are. It looks like a cabbage. I just met the master himself, so he told me that this is how they affixed this plant to the rope, because after a few years, or he said around 2 years, they envelope the rope to look like this. Look at how tightly woven this is. This is cute. So it starts like this here. This here is this Willinkii Republic. There's actually a platycerium nursery in Bali. If you ever stop by Bali, they have a pretty interesting nursery. I meant to do a video there, but I couldn't make it in time. He does not export though. I did specifically ask him if he does engage in the international market. But of course, if you see something nice there, you could always engage with the service of my sponsor for this video, EXITPLANT. And by the way, I'm very proud to be sponsored by them because I actually do use their service. If you remember my videos from last year, I did some sale event and I shipped hundreds of plants to hundreds of customers from all over the world, and I used their service with a lot of satisfaction. So I'm really glad that they reached out to sponsor this episode. Yeah, these are also from Willinkii Republic. I don't see a species ID on these plants, but I'm guessing these are all Platycerium willinkii, it's just different forms of it. And this is a platycerium nursery out of Thailand, and welcome to Indonesia. So this is the products that they are offering here. This is the mother plant for Lisa, and this is the seedlings, and this is what they're actively promoting in this market here. Very good price actually, but these are still babies. And we've got some veitchii. This is the wild spores, and as you can see, this is the mother plant of this. And I guess the mother was collected in the wild, but the babies were grown in the nursery, I guess. And I filmed this in Taiwan a few months back, Jade Girl, and this is actually very, very sought after, very pricey. And as you can see, the price is reflected there. It's still quite pricey, but they have the potential to become very, very beautiful. All right, I'm in Akbar Garden, and look at this massive, massive platycerium. This is a Platycerium grande from Indonesia, and behind it, hiding, is the baby version. So this little fella can get to this size. Is this the full size yet, or can it get bigger? It can get bigger than this. My gosh, it's actually really, really quite beautiful, this one. Ugh. And behind, this is the wandai, and it's also from Indonesia. And I've seen much larger wandai than this. This is probably, how many years old would you say this is? 5 years to get to this size. So if you have a big home or a big garden, this is like a statement piece for you.
You guys, all the platyceriums will sold out the next day.
From Bandung. Okay, so it's high elevation, very conducive for platycerium's growth. Do you propagate from seed or is it from offset?
From fit.
From seed?
Yeah.
Wow, how long to take from how many years to get this size?
2 years.
2-3 years to get to this size. Nice. They look very healthy. So there's how many species here? This is a Panama. It's a hybrid, yeah, maybe, or is it?
No,
A species. And this one?
Stemaria. Stemaria species.
Okay. And this one?
Pici.
Beicii. Okay. Nice. And these are the bigger ones. So yeah, this is very cute. You grow them so well. They all look so healthy. So this is a grower from Malaysia. They specialize in platyceriums. So there's hybrids and also species, and they grow them so well. And apparently, if you see the word pup here, it means that they were propagated from offset, which they're pups, but sometimes they do seedlings. And I think there are some interesting varieties coming here. There are photos on the wall to show you what their potential mature size looks like. So that's actually very helpful to know. So if you want to freeze the screen and you want to take a closer look at some of them, feel free to do so. Don't forget, my videos are filmed in 4K. So if you put it on a 4K setting, they're actually very, very high resolution and you can zoom in with ease. Platycerium in Southeast Asia, also in Taiwan and Japan, are very, very happening. Let me know in the comment down below if they are popular in your region or what you think about them. I'm curious to know. But they are one of the genus that's really moving, and a lot of interesting products are coming to the market these days. And this is depot plants from Bandung. They actually do have a lot of these ferns, epiphytic ferns, platyceriums, and not just platyceriums, but I also see some of these surpassing here. This is a funky store. Look at that very retro shining lights. Phalaenopsis, or actually a bulbophyllum, I think Phalaenopsis. There's a lot of commotion going on here, but I really like this. This store has some interesting vibes to it. This is a Platycerium willinkii duku, it says on the sign, but it's got a classic frond. But why I'm pointing this out is to show you that this is how the babies show up. So when you have a Platycerium, not all species, but some of them, they can sprout babies from the side of the fronds. This one's also another baby, and you can then pry them off from the main plant and grow them as offsets. Now, I'm not familiar with these names. This is a Platycerium Holtumii. This is Paul Vespa. This is quite a funky name. And usually when it's a name like this, these are usually hybrids. Get that over there, that's the devil. Yeah, again, people are buying up Platyceriums, people are buying them up like crazy. If you ask me, I think there are a lot of transactions here for Platyceriums more than any other genus or types of plants. They are really moving quite fast these days.
This is the platycerium that the shop owner recommends. Its name is Platycerium willinkii RCP, and it's actually an unknown hybrid with willinkii parentage, and it's found in the city of Depok, which is close to Jakarta. It's got thin fronds that diverge in an elegant manner. Platyceriums are known to hybridize naturally and can mutate easily to foreign environments. This creates a huge diversity in terms of form and shapes. The only way to have the exact same form of a platycerium is by taking a pup off a mother plant, as it will essentially be a clone. Although in my experience, even the baby can change forms in a new environment.
Platycerium. That one is actually very beautiful. One right there. Look at that. And I actually like how tidy they have done the kokedama, the moss ball, around the platyceriums here. This is quite beautifully mounted. So this is 25,000 per pot. That's very, very inexpensive. I believe that's about $1.50 US dollars. And there's quite a lot of varieties to choose from. This one here actually called out to me. It's very soothing on the eye. It's an Echeveria, but it didn't say which variety this is. And I started to get into succulents actually because I found out ways to propagate them. I've been watching these viral videos of how you can propagate succulents, and they are quite stunning. And then back here, there's some variegated. This is also Echeveria, if I'm not wrong. It's a variegated variety. Lithops. They used to be very hard to come by in Indonesia. Nobody had them. And if you want, you had to buy seeds, and they were very expensive. This was during the pandemic when I was trying to get into them, but they're now become a bit more affordable. But if you ask me, the price is still quite steep. I don't think too many people are growing them out yet. And I don't know if there's many demand for them here in Indonesia, but they're actually a fascinating genus. And these are also sansevierias. These ones are very interesting. They're very, very curly if you look at them. This is actually quite beautiful. This is a 150,000 Indonesian rupiah. This one here says it's a Sansevieria splash. It is actually very nice. Look at the milky white variegation that it has. It almost looks like a Dracaena if you ask me. Like, you know, there's a Dracaena that has soft leaves. This is actually very hard Sansevieria leaves. I think this is also why they are very similar. Their flower morphology is very similar to the Dracaenas. That's why they've been reclassified. But if you look at the patterning here, you can see why they might actually really be one genus. And there are also some more rarer varieties here. Sansevierias actually have a wide price range. You can get them very, very cheap, but there's some that are actually extremely expensive. This one here, it says it's the blue clone. It really called out to me. Look at how beautiful not only the shape is, but also look at that orange outline that it has around some of the parts of the leaves. It's really, really quite beautiful. I quite adore this one actually. This one says it's the agave soiji region. 200,000. It's actually very, very affordable, but I think this is like a rare variety of agave that's actually very cute. It stays quite compact. I don't know if these guys actually get big, but look at that. They're so cute. It's like a circus carnival. Look at that. It's so cute. It's got like some pink on it, and it's got like some vicious teeth, some spike. So this is like very, very interesting to me, but it is very, very pricey. Kalanchoe tomentosa. This is a common plant, but it's very, very cute. I love the fuzziness of this plant, and yeah, I wanted to give it a few seconds of screen time. Some lithops here, and this one here is actually looks interesting with the, is it flowering now or what?
Yes, this is unprocessed for flowering. This one is Optica rubra. The color is different. This and this is Aucampia Jackson Jade.
Yeah.
The color is beautiful, and this one is Aucampia open window.
Okay, beautiful. Because they look like an open window. Like, is there a trans?
Yes.
Are these desert plants? Or
Yeah.
not? So you treat them the same way as desert plants,
Yes.
the same care.
Yes.
That one,
This one?
yeah, it's split open almost like avocado. But why do you do it?
This is Playas Pilos Royal Flush.
It's not a lithop.
Plants. This is desert plants, but this is not lithops.
Oh, lithop is a genus name,
Yes.
but this is other genus.
Yeah.
But is it similar or?
Similar.
All right, so this is an agave. The name is long and it's gonna be on the screen, but this is brought in by Nico from Tujuan Bumi. We actually did an episode with him back in the days when he did anthuriums. He still has anthuriums, so you can hound him, DM him on anthuriums, but he's brought in this exciting product to Indonesia. So this is an agave from the United States, and some of them are from Utah and some of them are from Nevada, and they're desert plants. It's so stunning. Look at the pots that elevate their look. And what I particularly like about them is that they have really, really interesting silvery, almost turquoise foliage. And these old leaves here, they are a reminder of how temporary life actually is. And Nico told me that the care tip for this is to not take off these dried leaves because they are still providing food for the plant. So you should let them wither off and dry off on its own. But I do really like the contrast between the turquoise and, let me show you this one, between the fresh and live fronds from the one that is drying off. I really like that contrast. It is quite beautiful. It has that sinister, evil layer type vibes to it. And of course, this pot really helps elevate its look. Agave is here. It says collector's favorite. Don't know the species names or the price on these. Let me give you a closer look. There. There are some more tucked away back here. And there are some more agaves over here. So apparently this is the collection of Botangi. This plant in the middle, it looks like a durian. It's very cute. And I see a lot of very, very curious plants here in these miniature pots. Look at this one here. It's coming from this little tiny, teeny, tiny pot. This is done. It made me smile, this booth, amongst all the tropical foliage and other larger plants. This is KPTHI. They are a hybridizer and grower of sansevierias. This is their information, and they do ship overseas and domestic. The phone number's on the screen down below. Some beautiful ones here. Look at this one. And sometimes these guys are best viewed from up above. Pardon the platycerium that's in the way, but they look really nice from up above. It's a kind of symmetry porn, if you ask me. And I really enjoy filming sansevierias, photographing with them because they have such beautiful graphic quality to it. It's so organic. It swirls around naturally. And this is Sansevieria Marsha Arnjani, green form. Look at that. It's so stunning. I have a feeling that this can get much bigger. This is probably still very juvenile. Sansevieria Ariella. It's got a good name to it. And if you look at it, it's so beautiful. It's a variegated variety. Oh man, this is so stunning. I have an episode on Sansevierias, some rare Sansevierias, and also there's some of the care tips that pertains to tropical regions. So if you want to check that video out, go for it. This is also very interesting. This is very stubby. Sansevieria mansi or something. But look at how stubby this is. And the leaves are actually quite short, like dwarf bananas almost. And let me pan a bit slower so you can see the different shapes, forms, varieties. We did cover extensively a lot of different Sansevierias and some rare Sansevierias that you've never seen before on the channel. And this one here, I bet this is going to win all kinds of awards. Look at this Sansevieria. Wow. There's like groups of very passionate Sansevieria growers out there. And it's their lifelong obsession to grow this genus.
Okay, hi, I'm Boyd Ganigan from non-aroids. Of course, I am from the Philippines. So we've been in this business for like 20 years, and mostly we grow arid and aroid plants. As you can see, I'm holding an arid plant, a Sansevieria, that most Indonesians are into now. Okay, so guys, watch us for our page in non-aroids and check some of our stuff. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, I'm at Arid and Aroids from the Philippines. This is the Sansevieria
Tonga Venus.
Titonga Venus. All right. I hope mutations. I hope I got the pronunciation correct. It's a little bit of a mouthful. But he was saying that this is actually from a mutation, from an offset that came out like this. So it's extremely rare to find this kind of mutation. But look at the variegation. It actually called out to me. I came by to ask them which plant they would like to promote. But all this time I was eyeing this plant. It is quite unique. It's unlike many Sansevierias I've seen before. And these guys are actually the babies, the offsets from them, from this plant. And I asked, why are the variegation more green? And he said that actually given
Dominant.
the
baby becomes like this.
yeah. So with the new leaf that's emerging, such as that one here, at some point the variegation increases and it becomes more and more white, which is interesting. So this one is actually sold, so we're gonna bid it farewell and hope that it goes to a good home, but it is already sold. BG Regali, and it is a mutation.
Upright now.
Yeah, so the shape and also variegation are the both mutation. This is probably very expensive.
Yes.
Okay. But you guys have more at home, right? This is not the last one.
We have all.
You have some. Only 4. All right, guys, look at this.
And that plant is very slow growing. Sure, so
Look at this size. From a pup or from a seedling?
from a seedling,
6 years old to get to this. Oh my gosh. So this is a Thai hybrid. Do you know the name?
Yes, dragon tendon.
Dragon tendon.
Yeah.
Look at this. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, look at that. This is like a whole new world in there. It's like you want to lay down in a couch right in the middle.
I buy the ordinary one, not variegated,
Yeah.
in Thailand, and then the mutation is in the Philippines.
So you found a variegation in the Philippines. You guys are lucky. Well, either you're lucky or you just buy a lot and you collect a lot and then some become like this. Amazing.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. Oh, you guys have a secret. It's amazing. This is truly, it's beautiful. Look at that. It's almost symmetrical, but it's not exactly symmetrical. So it kind of tickles the eye a bit. So here's another treat for you Sansevieria lovers. This is coming in from Thailand. This is the Sansevieria Yuki Ono, and it is the mutation from the bonchal. And here are the babies. So this is what most people will bring home. And by the way, with Sansevierias, you can absolutely buy them bare root like this. They can survive it. So yeah, cute. There's beautiful variegation if you look at it. This shop is my Carnivora. And let me take a few steps back to show you what it looks like. They're very busy. A lot of people came and made some inquiries because they do have a gorgeous setup here. But there's a lot of different types of carnivorous plants here. You see like the hanging pitcher plants, yeah, some Sarracenias. And then in these, you also see like tiny Nepenthes. This is the Sarracenia purpurea venosa. It's quite common. And if you have all these tiny pitcher plants, look at them. They look so freaking curious. And that one there, look at that. Oh my gosh. That looks very otherworldly. It's amazing. Now this is what a baby Nepenthes look like. This is a gracilis, and it's as big as my pink. Look at that. That's my pinky for comparison. They're so teeny tiny. And they were just telling me that apparently over here, the ladies tend to be into the Venus flytraps. And for guys, the Nepenthes would be the more popular choice.
Cross between Viking and Ampullaria Black Miracle.
Okay. Wow, that's the whole plant.
Nepenthes, this is Mirabilis.
Mirabilis?
Yeah. This one is Drosera burmani.
Okay, cute. Thank you so much.
I hope they can grow big
Yeah.
in your house.
Thank you. I was gifted some plants, you guys. Thank you.
This particular plant, the only two plants available in Indonesia. This is quite rare. This is called the Carnivoria Tutankhamon. And this one, the variegated one, is called Siberia.
Okay.
Only 5 plants available in Indonesia.
Okay.
They already sold out.
Okay. And so these are seed grown, or how do you propagate?
We propagate using only leaf pulling and rhizome division. They can grow flower. I have fly trap seeds if you want to see.
That's cool.
This is the pot. So small. They come from the subtropical climate, and we try to force them live in our climate. But they still do show signs of dormancy. I can show you. This one already in a stage of dormancy. The old leaf, you can see it's bigger, right?
Mhm.
Take a look at the new leaves. It's much more smaller.
Yeah.
If you take them out from the soil, you can see.
Yeah.
The rhizome is look like this.
Yeah.
It's like onions,
Okay.
layers by layers. Healthy rhizome look like this, straight.
Okay.
But when they go dormant, they will go like this, make a big bulb,
Then the
deeper in the soil.
energy.
Yeah, that's why.
But do you induce dormancy then? No,
I induce dormancy.
Okay.
I put them in the fridge. But the thing is, since we live in tropical climate,
Yeah.
they still show signs of dormancy, but not on the regular basis. Like if you live in America or Europe, fall and winter is the time for dormancy for every fly traps. But here, yeah, we just need to take a look for the signs.
Yeah, they don't know they don't have the calendar here.
Yeah, they don't know the calendar, so that's why we just need to pay attention for each of the fly traps.
Yeah.
If they show signs of dormancy, yeah, then it's the time. Then just do it.
Okay. So it requires a lot of diligence and care and love
Yeah,
and being considerate
sure.
to their needs.
Twice.
So it's white in color. So it's actually variegated.
It's variegated.
Elderwise exotics. Yeah. And they do primarily Sarracenias and Nepenthes. And as a general rule of thumb, Sarracenias are full sun plants. Are they difficult in our tropical climate?
They're quite easy, actually. They will thrive in our tropical climate. But the thing with the carnivorous plants, in general, is the water.
Right, they need to always be in water.
You need to put them in a tray of water. And we cannot use tap water. We can only use the demineralized water.
This is the Nepenthes alata crossed with truncata. It's got large pictures. So I was told that this was a hybrid from the Philippines. It's actually very beautiful. I was just told that this is one that they actually recommend. This is a globosa complex. It's a complex hybrid, but its base is the globosa. It's like bullate, which means it's a bit round. So I'm at the Tanduran and asked for Hoya recommendations. This is a beautiful Hoya spartoides. And there's some more hanging up here. They look like dried twigs or dead plants, but in fact they can bloom at the end of each of these leaves. They put out a single flower. They're actually quite cute and quite challenging to grow. So I was told that the trick of keeping them alive is one, to use moss. This is live moss, yeah?
Live moss.
Yeah. So this is using live moss, and to water it thoroughly every few days. You want to keep it humid, you want to keep the media moist but not wet and not compacted, if you know what I mean, but never keep it dry. I think I left mine either too wet and then I was scared, so I left it too dry, and that's what killed it so fast. Because they're such difficult Hoyas, I'm always impressed when I see people that can grow them well. So if you want to impress your friends, this is a good Hoya to have. It's the Hoya stenophylla. It's not going to focus very well. They look almost like a retusa. You wouldn't think twice about getting this Hoya, but apparently this is what the bloom look like. It's very, very tiny bloom, but yeah, this is apparently not an easy Hoya to take care of either. So if you want to up your Hoya game and be a bit more challenged, maybe this is one that's for you. This is another weird one for you, the Hoya insularis. It's not for everyone, but I actually quite like it. The leaves, if you look at it up close, it looks like a microsorum, like a fern. So it's got strong jungle vibes on these. I wonder what the flower looks like. I'm going to include that on the screen. And this is a Hoya lacunosa super silver. It's almost like completely silver. So if you like this kind of silver foliage, and as a lacunosa, I bet it's probably easy to grow and maybe it flowers quite generously. So this is Vernonia Nursery. We actually did, I think, 2 episodes at the nursery. They do have orchids. They have their own hybrids for orchids. Love their nursery. It's very, very tidy, neat rows of orchids. And they also do a lot of Hoyas. Eric, they explore parts of the Indonesian jungle and they try to find and identify some Hoya species, and they do propagate and try to multiply it to scale up production so more of us can enjoy these Hoyas. So let's check out what they have. So here we have some orchids that are mounted, and there's actually many species, many hybrids. They've registered their own hybrids as well. So if you're interested in this kind of plant, you really need to contact him or visit his nursery to find out his full range of products. Here's also some more of the orchids. So we're not going to spend too much time here. But here we have some Paphiopedilons, some slipper orchids. And they have so many varieties of orchids at the nursery. But one thing about orchids that you have to know is that they can't be imported or exported very readily. You do need CITES. So that's something to keep in mind if you're trying to get into orchid. This is a Hoya bacoensis. So this is from Sumatra, but this variety is from Kalimantan. Hoya diversifolia variegated. Now I have the non-variegated. It's quite common here, but again, this is the variegated version. If I'm not wrong, this is also a pretty fast-growing one for me. This is the Hoya weimannii cloudy sky. Now we featured the weimannii before on the channel. We talked about it in this nursery, but this is one that was selectively bred for the extremely silver splash on the leaves. And this is also from Indonesia. This is a Hoya undulata army. How nice is that? It's beautiful. And typically the undulata starts with like a rosette near the base, and then this will sprout a main vine up above. So a lot of undulatas you run into will have like a cluster in the bottom. This is the Hoya multiflora mini splash. So not only is this mini, because it's actually smaller in the leaves than the regular form, but this is also splash leaves. The regular one is actually boring, let me tell you. The original form of this will put you to sleep, but they have magnificent flowers. This is what their flowers actually look like. And from what I see, I think these guys are quite generous with flowering, because I do see them in bloom oftentimes in different nurseries. And this is an interesting Hoya hypalacia from Papua. Beautiful leaves, look at that. Oh man, it looks almost like a piper of some sort. I'm at Rohman Flora, and this is an Hoya undulata. Remember we saw one earlier that's smaller. This is what they can actually look like. Again, they form a rosette very close to the pot. This one has large leaves, oh my god. And then when they're happy, they start to vine around. So they have this vine that's coming out from this beautiful rosette. And this one, let me see, this is the Hoya mitrata silver. I actually saw this yesterday, it really caught my eye. It's got very beautiful foliage. Hoya polyneura, fishtail Hoya. It's very common in Europe and in the US. It's extremely rare here, and they hate to live in Indonesia. They really don't like our climate, or maybe just not my care style. But the fact that they're expensive here and not many people have them, it's going to show that they're actually quite difficult to grow here. This is a Hoya coriacea from Borneo, Indonesia. Beautiful. Look at that bit of green here. This is very, very silver, and the leaves are quite large for a Hoya. It's beautiful. This is the Hoya buntokensis silver. Now, I think I have the buntok, but this is the silver variety, and the seller actually recommends this one. And this is a Hoya lacunosa, and it's not only variegated, but it's also variegated on the inside, in the middle of the plant. And as you can see, the leaves here are quite narrow for a lacunosa. We'll be seeing a lot of lacunosa varieties in this episode, but this is one of them. This booth simply says orchid species and Hoya. And these are very, very heavily flowering Hoyas here. Oh, this one, I actually have this one. I keep forgetting the name, Verstagii, the Hoya Verstagii. It's got fuzzy leaves. The leaves can get bigger than this. And this is what the flowers look like. I'm actually delighted. Yeah, sorry, I was just making sure that this flower, the peduncle is coming out from this vine, but it is. So this is what the Verstagii flower actually looks like. Can't wait for mine to grow like this. This is another Verstagii flower, and as you can see, some haven't popped open yet, and some flowers have popped open. And as you can see, there are rows and rows of Hoyas here. This is very exciting here. A bit overwhelmed. I haven't been in my Hoya game for a while, to be honest. I've been like traveling and focusing on other different plants, and it took Indonesians a while to scale up. This is Habawaensis splash. It took Indonesian sellers quite a while to scale them up and to collect them, because we came in late in the Hoya game, but this is actually very pretty. And this one vine here, this is interesting, the reddish. I love sun-stressed Hoya. This is undulata silver. I don't know, every time I pick up a Hoya, it says undulata. Maybe I'm just naturally drawn to them. It's interesting variegation Hoya. There's so much, there's like rows and rows behind it. This is a classic. This is the Hoya caudata from Sumatra in Indonesia. But this one says it's the silver Borneo. So I'm confused. Maybe this is a variety that's not from Sumatra. It's this one that's from Borneo. I'm gonna step back to show you the bee Hoya. We've been here in the last FLOII episode. We showed you the booth and we talked a little bit about Hoyas. They're a large grower of Hoya in Indonesia, and they do export. So there's a lot to choose from, and I'm sure this space here only represents a tiny fraction of what they actually have. So you might want to reach out if you're a Hoya head and if you're looking for a Hoya supplier out of Indonesia. They have a lot. I remember in the last tour they had a lot of varieties of Hoya lacunosas. This is actually very pretty. This is probably the Croniana, if I'm not wrong. This here is a Hoya Memoria gracilis. I really like when the new leaves look coppery like this and the splash. This is actually quite nice. And it's nice to see Hoyas being sold in a full basket. Because I remember at a time when Hoyas were sold as like a 2-leaf, 4-leaf cutting. But now, yeah, we can enjoy this lush full pot of Hoyas. And I think we did mention this last time. This is the Hoya lacunosa mint coin. I think we vlogged about it, but I think at the time last year it was a much smaller plant, and now a really big basket like this will set you back around 400,000, which is actually a very decent price for a rare Hoya. Now they have a lot of these, the Hoya carnosa compacta regalis. They're actually extremely slow growing, one of the slowest growing plants in my collection. And this is really pretty. Look at this. This is the Hoya macrophylla queensy. And there's quite a lot of them in the back. They have large leaves. This is actually very big, these leaves. And when you're navigating around Hoyas, you gotta be careful not to knock any of these baby leaves off, because once you knock them off, they're gonna go bald. Hoya lacunosa silver leopard skin. I like that name. I don't know why they put the leopard in there, but maybe it's a snow leopard of some sort, like a silver. Yeah, I can only think of the snow leopard, but this is actually very beautiful. Look at the rows and rows of silver. And again, lacunosas, they have a lot of mutation, but they're also one of the easier Hoyas to grow and stress-free. I quite like this actually. I don't know, do I want one? Do I want one? I don't know, it's only 100,000. I'm coming back, by the way. I'm filming these 2 days, but I'm coming back on the 3rd day to shop. This is Hoya sigillaris. It's actually a classic. It's not a new Hoya and it's been around. They're actually quite easy to grow. Of all my Hoyas that died on me, this one always comes back for me. So I am always grateful for this plant. So I have a single vine now that's actually doing well, thankfully. And they're actually quite pretty. Look at the leaves. Pretty fast growing. So this one, again, the variety is silver long leaves. And I guess I've been seeing this around. A lot of sellers have them around here, but this is one that is in a brightly lit situation so you can see better. The Hoya coriacea silver. Actually, this is quite beautiful. I wonder what the flowers look like for this. Hoya Mathilde. I know that they are quite a classic Hoya, and I've always seen green ones. A lot of Hoya YouTubers tend to mention them at some point. So this is quite a quintessential Hoya, but it's fascinating to see that they come in beautiful splashes like this. And that's a cute full pot of it too. This is the Hoya australis lisa. I killed mine, so I don't have mine anymore. But you know what? They still held up the value. It's 250,000. I remember that they were probably around the same price 3-4 years ago at the height of the pandemic. And again, this is one plant. It's not fast growing by any means, and it's also very beautiful. So it really held up its value. This here, it's a Hoya croniana black. And I think we can see from here that it's probably a prolific grower. It's put out a long vine and all these leaves are emerging from the vines. Cronianas are actually quite easy to grow. And it's my first time seeing a black-leafed Hoya. This is actually quite fascinating. I'm quite taken by this actually. They look almost like the ZZ Raven.
Congratulations, you've made it till the end. If this episode has brought you joy and some learning, do consider sending it a like and commenting down below as a way to let YouTube know to recommend this video to other plant lovers like yourself. Here's some more information about our sponsor, EXITPLANT. Over many years, you guys have asked me a lot of questions about plant imports from Indonesia, and some of you even had to deal with nasty plant scammers, which is why I'm proud to mention today's sponsor, EXITPLANT. Formerly known as Titik Hijau, EXITPLANT have 5 years of experience shipping more than 50,000 plants worldwide. I've personally used their service to ship hundreds of plants overseas with great success. Unlocking this service will give you full access to the Indonesian market, because as you know, most growers here cannot export. EXITPLANT is increasing its service options from customized growing solutions to technology and education. Learn more on their website and get your free consultation today. Shopping in Indonesia has never been easier. Thank you, Patreon members, for supporting the channel. Should you consider joining as a member, the Patreon link is Sean from Only Plants. It can also be found in this video description. I've started producing bonus contents for members. These include plant hauls, plant shopping, and mini bite-sized adventures. The same bonus contents will also be unlocked for you if you join to become a YouTube member of the channel. There is a monthly membership fee as small as a cup of coffee a month. Simply go to Only Plants channel page and click join. Your contributions help me grow the channel, do better content, and have a better quality of life. For that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.